Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. We continue to see some new or ongoing prescribed fire activity out there across Utah and the Payette with very little wildfire activity. Precipitation for the past 7 days is shown here on the left. Again, still seeing the impacts from the storm that moved through the north last week with that recent precip over the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming. But if we look past the last 14 days, we can see it's been very, very dry. In fact, most of the month of October into the first part of November here has been pretty dry for Utah and Nevada. We really need some storms to come through. This morning's satellite imagery is showing that high pressure ridge still hanging on a bit. The models are still expecting some precipitation to start to move through later this week into the weekend, but they have slowed down a little bit and some of the precip totals are a little bit lighter. But in any case, still looking for a couple more dry, warm, breezy days before the weather starts to change. For today, again, we can see the low pressure trough off the Pacific coast here and the ridge still hanging on there over the southwest with gusty winds starting to pick up over the Great Basin between these two systems. Ventilation rates are improving today with some of the increased winds. A closer look at the winds here, we'll see them really picking up first over western Nevada and across southwest Utah, maybe on the lee side of the higher elevations in western Wyoming, and mixing heights pick up as well, especially over Nevada and southwest Utah. Minimum RHs are still going to be on the lower end today over southern Nevada and parts of southern Utah with that dry air mass still hanging on, and maximum temperatures are still pretty warm for the time of year. Highs near 70 in Reno and in the 60s across much of the rest of the areas. On Thursday, the low continues to move a little bit closer to the Great Basin, increasing wind speeds further across a slightly larger area, improving our ventilation rates for Thursday. Again, winds picking up across much of Nevada. We'll still see some breezy winds over western Utah. Winds pick up over Idaho as well. So generally just a windier day on Thursday with higher mixing heights as that low moves a little bit closer to the area. Minimum RHs are still going to be generally the same on Thursday with those low values across the south and values in the 20s across much of Utah and Nevada. The probability of precip is shown here for Thursday. Not looking for the precip to really start on Thursday. We may see some increased cloud cover and maybe some very light showers starting to pop up over far western Nevada and over the central Idaho mountains, but not too much yet by Thursday. On Friday, the low moves inland over northern California, and then we also see some moisture really being drawn up from the south on Friday, and we'll see some precipitation starting a little bit to become a little bit more widespread across the area on Friday. Ventilation rates still looking pretty good. Winds will still be gusty on Friday as the system moves through, especially over southern and central Nevada and then up into Idaho, and mixing heights are pretty high continuing into Friday as well. The probability of precip is shown here for Friday, so looking for the storms to fill in across Nevada up into Idaho and western Wyoming. Utah, especially the eastern part of the state, is still going to be on the drier side, but we'll see some isolated storms starting to fill in across the west, and temperatures start to decrease, so highs in the mid to upper 50s across Nevada, still on the warmer side in Utah, but we'll start to see things cooling off beginning on Friday. The 3-day precip totals are shown here. This is Wednesday through Saturday morning. Again, most of the precip is going to be coming into Nevada and into Idaho and western Wyoming with the first round of precip there. The forecasted clearing index for Utah for the next couple of days shows improving conditions with the increasing winds over the next few days. On Saturday, that low digs a little bit further south, bringing cooler temperatures to a larger portion of the area and allowing the precipitation to spread into Utah. Ventilation rates may be decreasing a bit, especially across the north with decreasing winds. On Sunday, that low continues to move eastward, tracking to the Rocky Mountain area. But there is another low pressure trough that sets up off the coast that will help to enhance some precipitation across the north. And that low will continue to swing through the northwest, northern Rockies, northern Great Basin on Monday. This is where we'll see our temperatures really start to drop with this colder system. Ventilation rates decent across the area as we have some of those stronger winds coming into Nevada and Utah once again on Monday. And then that low continues to be in place on Tuesday with the cooler temperatures area-wide and high ventilation rates. 7-day precip totals are shown here. So again, a pretty decent chance of precipitation for most areas across the Great Basin. Precip across the south is coming in the shorter term, especially in that starting on Friday into Saturday time frame, filling in across the north. Also in that Friday to Saturday time frame, and then we'll see an enhancement Sunday into Monday. 7-day snowfall forecast is not quite as widespread as what we were expecting maybe earlier in the week, but still looking for some snow to come to the mountains of Utah, maybe even some locally decent amounts over the southern Utah mountains, and then central Idaho, western Wyoming as well. So we'll take it. The extended forecast for November 19th through the 25th puts temperatures below normal across the southwest and much of Utah and Nevada, and above normal chances for precipitation across the Great Basin as well. And this concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Friday for the latest update.